Shocking footage is coming in out of Baltimore as last night a cargo ship smashed one of the pillars of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, collapsing it into the ocean. This footage is horrifying. Mass casualties and a state of emergency has been declared in Baltimore as rescue efforts are still underway. We have the footage and the latest updates. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and I'm still shook by these images coming in this morning. Waking up to this, it is just tragic. Oh my goodness, almost the entire bridge collapsing last night. We have some of the footage, multiple angles are still coming in, but just look at the scale of that. Oh my goodness, this is horrifying. Thankfully, this was in the middle of the morning at 1:30 in the morning, so it wasn't as busy as it could have been. We would have had even more casualties had it been during a rush hour period this morning or early evening. But still, several cars were still on that bridge, and several construction workers were apparently on the bridge as well. They did rescue 2 so far. We're still trying to catch up and count and figure out what's happening. Truly, truly heartbreaking and tragic footage. Look, I'm shocked by this. There are numerous angles and videos coming in this morning. This affects a port of Baltimore, a massive route. This is going to affect the city for months. Not only just obvious traffic to get into Hawkins Point and Sparrows Point here, but also just the port affecting the shipping routes. This is a massive state of emergency for the city of Baltimore. And you can see here now, warning, just to heads up of the impact here. This cargo ship is going in and hits that pillar. Oh. Oh, I can't. It's just unbelievable to see that happen. How can this happen? What happened here? So here's some breakdowns of just what happened with the ship. So it had a power loss 2 times as it's careening over there. They were trying to maneuver around, which they apparently do this obviously often. But as they're getting around the bridge, they have a loss of power, as you can see as the lights all go out, which is crazy. You'd think there'd be some more redundant systems in place. A lot of comments I'm reading, why isn't there computer software that helps to evasive maneuvers? It seems like it does. And then there is a quick turn and a big thick of smoke until they lose power again. Now they attempt to recover. You can see them turning away from the pillar. I mean, it's not turning away. They sort of head right into it. Look at that. And it seems like they back into it, which is even what's weirder. That's what many people are just confused by as, oh my God, these last few cars that are able to get through. Look at this. It's just like unreal to imagine. And it does seem like there's no cars at this point, but there is some construction and some security. Those officers seem to have stopped some of the traffic until it falls. Some of those cars still maybe this is out of a movie. This is unreal. But as you can see in this footage, as we increase its a little bit more and go into the moment of impact here, a lot of people theorizing, did they back into it? What's going on? How did this happen? But you can see it as it comes back in. It seems to be going away. It seems to have gotten through. It's past it. But then, it starts to back up. With the power on, why is it backing up into the pillar? And it's going so fast. And it's still like trying to get around, and then boom. Still seems to have gotten around. It's ready. And then it just backs into it. Which then once that pillar's gone, boom, whole thing's gone. To hit that pillar had to have been so much, you'd think would have been sturdier. But my goodness, this footage is just heartbreaking. I wanted to go through this news report from CBS Morning to give us sort of the latest.
Major collapse of a bridge in Maryland. It happened just before 1:30 a.m. A cargo ship strikes a pillar of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, sending the principal section of that bridge into the river there. You can see it on your screen. Wow. Officials say 2 people have been plucked from the water, one in serious condition, so serious they were unable to debrief that person. And Maryland's governor has declared a state of emergency. This is a bridge along Interstate 695 in Baltimore County. It's more than 1.5 miles long, and underneath it, many cargo ships pass daily. The Port of Baltimore is just behind it. Rescue crews now actively searching for possibly 7 people in the water.
I mean,
we are still very much in an active
7 people. My goodness, if that's all that's left, I mean, it's not trying to make light, but that's could have been so much worse.
search and rescue posture at this point, and we will continue to be for some time. We have a large area that we have to search. This includes on the surface of the water, subsurface, as well as on the deck of the ship itself.
We're going to begin our coverage with.
So insane.
Now, the search area here is large, and officials are reiterating they have used specialized sonar equipment to detect multiple vehicles underwater. They've not yet said how many, but they are looking on the surface of the water, underwater, and also on the deck of that ship. Video captures the terrifying moment a container cargo ship plowed into a massive column supporting the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. Moments later, you can see flames and thick plumes of smoke coming from the ship. Then the section of the bridge starts to crumble before collapsing into the Patapsco River below.
The entire bridge, the entire Key Bridge in the harbor.
The Baltimore City Police Department said only part of the 1.6-mile-long bridge collapsed. Video shows multiple cars driving on the bridge at the time. They could not confirm how many, but did say there was at least one the size of a tractor trailer.
They were workers. That was their vehicles. They were pouring concrete.
Baltimore police say there is a possibility construction workers on the bridge may have fallen into the river. Rescue teams are looking for up to 7 people who may be in the river, along with an unknown number of vehicles. Water temperatures at the time were 48 degrees, putting anyone in the water at risk for hypothermia.
This water is current influenced. So right now we think the tide is coming back in. That adds a bit of a challenge to us also.
I wanted to know what the bang was. Ship hit the Key Bridge, sinking. The bridge is gone.
An official with the Coast Guard in Baltimore confirmed the 974-foot long and 161-feet wide Singapore-flagged cargo ship called the Dali collided with the bridge.
Yeah, and what's wild apparently is the captain and crew are fine. The people behind the wheel are okay, from what I read recently. And it's like, well, how does this happen? And that's the big question. And I see a lot of theories, and I don't want to try to encourage, wild theories and stuff. But lots of people wondering how do you not have systems in place in these boats to have it? And I don't know. I'm not trying to say I don't want to imply some of the things that are out there they're implying, but it is weird. Most ships have safety systems where the computers take over. I imagine this is going at such a speed, but then why was it going at such a speed? It's a lot of people saying there's manual anchor systems in place. There are so many things that could happen, that are there to create this. Maybe they just weren't equipped, but it does seem like this crew should have been on it. And it's weird. The ship does pass the pillar. It looks like it backs up. I don't know why. And I'm with this person. I'm not trying to create some sort of a conspiracy, as some are online, but and with the backup generators and everything, I'm still super confused why it does this backup. Which let's play one more time, as you can see, sort of in this wider shot here. It gets around. It manages to get through. It goes through the bridge. Or it's going around the bridge, rather, and it makes it. It seems to stop, and then it just keeps going. It's so weird. It does the full turn. And then, it seems to be like, look at it. Because if you watch it from this angle, it seems to be turning into that area. and it's I don't get it. I mean, I guess depending on these angles, this angle does help make it clear. But then, it seems to be moving forward. Evasive. It's hard to tell, man. It's really hard to tell. And it smashes in. But it does seem like it's backing into it. I don't know. All I know is this is heartbreaking footage. My goodness. Heartbreaking footage to see as the harbor now this morning, as they search for more survivors. My heart goes out to everyone out in Baltimore. If you have someone out in Baltimore, definitely send them some love and support right now. And it's going to be hell for the next several months as they clear out the bridge from the water first, and before they have to rebuild this bridge, which is such a massively important bridge for commuters, not to mention the shipping boats coming through. This is going to affect Baltimore for a long time, and just tragic. And I hope we can get to the bottom of how this ship had those errors and how we ensure we set up better safety measures to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Why were they going through this harbor at such a speed in the first place? It's a lot of questions still remain, and we will keep you posted on survivors and total loss of life as it comes in. But this is going to be something that lasts for a while. Oof, I'm speechless. If you want to be updated, make sure you hit the bell for all alerts, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, and let us know your theories and thoughts. Something I missed, I would love to hear. If you're a maritime expert, let us know. And meanwhile, please stay tuned for more. Yes, we will be covering the Diddy case next. Stay tuned. It's wild.